You feel that there is someone near you who smiles in your presence, but roots against you behind your back. A person whose name begins with the letter P. It could be Paulo, Patricia, Pedro, Priscilla, Paloma, Patrick. You already know of whom I am speaking, do you not? That coldness in the belly that you felt now, that face that came to your mind in this exact second, was not by chance. You clicked on this video because there is something inside you that has already noticed, already felt, already suspected. And today I will confirm to you what your spirit has already known for a long time. Stay with me until the end, because what I will reveal here may change the way you protect yourself, how you position yourself, and how you resume control of your own life from this moment forward. Before anything else, I need you to understand a truth that few people have the courage to speak openly. Envy is not just an ugly feeling. Envy is a force. It is a directed energy. And when someone feels envy of you, that person is, consciously or not, sending a heavy load in your direction. I am not speaking of cheap mysticism. I am speaking of something that science itself has already begun to map. Researchers from the National University of Singapore published studies showing that envy activates brain regions associated with physical pain. In other words, when someone feels envy of you, that person is literally suffering because of your light. And people who suffer because of the brilliance of others do not remain still. They act, they sabotage, they manipulate, and they do all of this while smiling. And there is more. Studies in the area of social neuroscience show that the human brain, when exposed to stimuli of constant envy coming from close persons, enters into alert mode. The sympathetic nervous system is activated. Cortisol is released. Your body begins to function as if it were in permanent danger, even if consciously you do not understand why. That sensation of always being tired, always tense, always with your guard raised, often comes from living with those who are envying you in silence. Now answer me with sincerity. In the last months, have you noticed that some things in your life began to stall without explanation? Opportunities that seemed certain simply escaped. Relationships that were well began to become strange. Your energy fell. Your sleep worsened. You began to feel a tiredness that is not of the body, it is of the soul. If you identified with at least two of these signs, pay close attention, because this is not a coincidence. And what I will show you from here on will open your eyes in a way that you will never again be able to ignore. Let us begin with the symptoms. Because before understanding who this person is whose name begins with P, you need to recognize the tracks that envy leaves in your life. Envy does not arrive shouting. It enters softly, disguised as affection, as advice, as concern. And it is exactly for this reason that it is so dangerous. First symptom, you begin to doubt yourself without apparent motive. You know that insecurity that appears from nowhere. You are well, confident, walking in your direction, and suddenly a sensation hits that you are not capable, that you do not deserve, that everything will go wrong. This doubt often is not born inside you. It is planted by someone who, in a subtle way, undermines your self-confidence with comments disguised as sincere opinion. Ah, will you be able to handle it? Wow, this is very difficult, eh? I, in your place, would think twice. It seems like care, but it is poison. Second symptom, your plans begin to leak. You tell an idea to someone, and soon after that idea loses strength. Or someone appears doing exactly what you were planning, or obstacles arise that no one expected. This happens because envious people do not keep your achievements with joy. They keep them with resentment, and when you share a dream with one who feels envy, you are delivering your seed into the hand of one who wants to step on it. Third symptom, you feel exhausted after being with this person. Pay attention to this. Think of the person with P who came to your head. Now remember the last time you spent time with them. How did you feel afterward? Light and renewed, or heavy and without energy? People who carry envy function as energy suckers. Psychology calls this emotional vampirism. It is not a figure of speech. It is a real mechanism. When someone is in a constant state of comparison and resentment, coexistence with that person literally drains your emotional resources. If you are recognizing these signs, leave your like on this video now. This like is not just a number to me. It is a commitment of yours to yourself that you are ready to see the truth and act. And subscribe to the channel if you are not yet subscribed, because what comes next is even stronger. Now let us understand the causes. Why does precisely this person with a name starting with P feel envy of you? There exists a spiritual reason and a psychological reason, and the two complement each other in an impressive way. From the spiritual point of view, you need to understand that envy only exists when there is light. No one envies the darkness. No one envies failure. Envy is, in truth, an involuntary recognition of your brilliance. When someone feels envy of you, that person is saying to the universe, I recognize that this person has something that I would like to have. It is a confession disguised as an attack. And this is powerful because it completely changes the way you must face this situation. You are not a victim of the envy of others. You are a target because you have value. God does not place brilliance in those who have no purpose. If you were chosen to disturb, it is because you were chosen to shine. And this person with P who is around you feels this. They may not understand rationally, but their spirit perceives that you carry something they do not have. And instead of seeking their own path, they chose to try to extinguish yours. Now, from the psychological point of view, envy is born from a very specific place: comparison. And here enters a datum that I want you to record. A survey conducted by the Locomotiva Institute here in Brazil showed that more than 60% of adult Brazilians frequently compare themselves with close people, especially on social networks and in the work environment. And do you know what is most revealing? The most painful comparison does not happen with celebrities or distant people. It happens with those who are near, with the neighbor, with the colleague, with the relative, with the friend. So when I say that someone close to you, with a name starting with P, feels envy, I am not speaking of a stranger. I am speaking of someone from your social circle, someone who follows your life closely, who sees your achievements, your advances, your steps, and who internally corrodes themselves with this. And I need to ask you a difficult question. Have you already noticed that this person never truly celebrates when something good happens to you? They even say congratulations. They even smile. But the eyes do not follow. There is something extinguished there, something forced. And after this congratulations generally comes a comment that diminishes the achievement. Cool, but it must have been luck. Good for you, I never had that chance. Ah, but with the help you had, anyone could do it. This has a name. It is called strategic devaluation, and it is one of the tools most used by envious people. There exists yet another pattern that you need to observe: veiled sabotage. The person with P will not attack you directly. They are more intelligent than that. They will forget to warn you about something important. They will give wrong information at the decisive moment. They will delay you when you most need agility. They will create confusion between you and other people, planting distorted versions of things you said or did. And when you confront them, they play innocent. Wow, I did not know. I think there was a misunderstanding. I was only trying to help. This cycle of sabotage followed by victimization is one of the clearest signs of active envy. If this is happening in your life, you are not going mad. You are being targeted. And I want you to understand also the role of social networks in this dynamic. In Brazil, we are one of the peoples who spend the most time on social networks. And do you know what happens? The person with P follows your life online. Each photo you post, each achievement you share, each happy moment you record is being observed by the one who envies you. And this intensifies the resentment. Therefore, one of the most effective forms of protection is to be selective in what you publish. I am not saying to stop living. I am saying not to transform your life into a display window for those who do not deserve to watch. Now, I know that hearing all of this can be uncomfortable, because perhaps this person with P is someone you love, someone from your family, someone you considered a true friend, and discovering that the one who is by your side roots against you is one of the deepest pains a human being can feel. But I ask you, what hurts more? To know the truth and protect yourself, or to continue with eyes closed and being undermined day after day? Comment here below the letter P and the feeling that came to your heart now. You do not need to write the name of the person, just the letter and what you are feeling. I read each comment, and you will be surprised by how many people are going through the same thing. Let us go now to the most important part of this video, the solution. How to protect yourself, how to shield your energy, how to resume control of your life when there is someone close trying to pull you down. The first thing you need to do is stop feeding the envy. And feeding the envy is not doing something wrong. Feeding the envy is giving too much information to those who do not deserve it. How many times have you told your plans, your projects, your joys to this person with P? How many times have you opened your heart thinking you were sharing with someone of trust and afterward felt that it was used against you? From today, you will learn one of the most powerful laws of spiritual protection: strategic silence. Strategic silence is not rudeness. It is not moving away without explanation. It is simply learning to select what you share and with whom. The Bible already said, "Do not cast pearls before swine." This phrase is not about judging others. It is about protecting what is sacred. Your dreams are sacred, your plans are sacred, your energy is sacred, and not everyone deserves access to that. In practice, this means that when this person with P asks about your life, about your plans, about how things are going, you answer with kindness, but without depth. Everything is well, thanks to God. I am walking. Slowly, but firm. Ready. You do not need to give details. You do not need to tell about the new job, about the trip you are planning, about the relationship that is flourishing. Keep that for those who truly vibrate with you. And you know who those people are. They are those who, when you achieve something, are genuinely happy. The eyes shine, the hug is tight, the joy is real. The second strategy of protection is the prayer of shielding. Independent of your religion or your belief, there exists an immense power in the act of declaring protection over your life. Every morning, before leaving home, before opening the cell phone, before speaking with any person, declare in a loud voice, "I am protected. My light cannot be extinguished by anyone. What God prepared for me, no envy can take away. I walk surrounded by divine protection." This may seem simple, but neuroscience has already proven that positive declarations made in a loud voice activate the prefrontal cortex, the region of the brain responsible for decision-making and emotional control. In other words, when you declare protection, you are not just asking the universe. You are reprogramming your brain to act with more security and clarity. The third strategy is to strengthen your energetic field. And here I will be very practical with you. Do you know why the envy of others affects you so much? Because your field is weakened. When you are stressed, sleeping poorly, feeding yourself in any way without contact with nature, without moments of silence, your energetic field becomes porous. And it is through these breaches that the negative energy of others enters. So from today, I want you to begin doing 3 simple but transformative things. First, reserve 10 minutes per day to stay in absolute silence, without cell phone, without television, without conversation. Just you and your breathing. This restores your nervous system and strengthens your aura. Second, have contact with nature at least once per week. It can be a park, a square, a trail. Contact with the earth, with the green, with the open air, reconnects you with the original frequency of creation. Third, drink more water. It seems too simple, but water is the greatest energetic conductor that exists. When your body is dehydrated, your energy stagnates. Water cleans, flows, and renews. Many ancient spiritual traditions already knew this. Baptism, purification, immersion. Water was always a symbol of renewal. And there is something I need to add here about the care for the environment where you live. The physical space around you absorbs energy. If the person with P frequents your house, if they sit on your sofa, if they eat at your table, part of the energy they carry stays there. Therefore, cleaning your environment is fundamental. Open the windows early in the morning. Let the sun enter. Light a natural incense such as rosemary or rue at least once per week. Wash the floor of the entrance of your house with water and coarse salt. These are simple practices which come from Brazilian popular traditions and which have a powerful effect on the energetic renewal of your home. Your house is your temple. Protect it as such. Now I want to tell you a story that will touch you. Think of a woman named Carla, 52 years old, from Belo Horizonte. Carla worked for 15 years in the same company. She was dedicated, competent, loved by all. Until she began to notice that a work colleague, with whom she had much proximity, began to act in a strange way. This colleague, whose name begins with P, began to spread veiled comments about Carla to other sectors. Nothing direct, nothing that could be confronted. But things like, "Poor Carla, she strives so much, but I think she no longer handles it as before." Or, "Do you not think Carla is a bit different? I think she is not well." Carla began to feel the effects. The invitations to important meetings stopped arriving. Her ideas ceased to be heard. She began to doubt herself. She began to have anxiety crises. She lost sleep. She gained 10 kilograms in a few months. And during all this time, the colleague with P was there by her side, pretending to be a friend. It was when Carla watched a video similar to this one, and something inside her awoke. She began to apply strategic silence. She stopped telling her plans to this colleague. She began to pray every morning. She began to care for her body and her mind. And in 6 months, everything changed. Carla was promoted. The colleague with P resigned. And Carla told me with tears in her eyes that she felt as if she had left an invisible prison. This story is more common than you imagine. It happens in companies, in families, in churches, in groups of friends. Envy is an invisible prison that traps both the one who feels it and the one who is the target. And here goes a fourth strategy of protection that few teach: strategic forgiveness. I know it may sound strange to speak of forgiving someone who is harming you, but hear me. Forgiveness is not for the other person. Forgiveness is for you. When you carry anger, hurt, and resentment against who feels envy of you, you are maintaining an energetic link with that person. It is as if there were an invisible rope connecting you two. And through this rope, the negative energy continues flowing. To forgive does not mean to accept what was done. It does not mean to pretend that everything is well. It does not mean to keep this person near. To forgive means to cut the rope. It is to say to the universe, "I free myself from this connection. I return to this person what is theirs, and I move forward with what is mine." There exists a powerful exercise that I want to teach you. Tonight, before sleeping, close your eyes and visualize this person with P. Imagine them in front of you. Look into their eyes and say mentally, "I forgive you. Not because you deserve it, but because I deserve to be free. I release this rope. I free myself." Afterward, visualize a golden light involving you, creating a barrier of protection, and sleep with this image in your mind. Do this for 7 consecutive nights and tell me in the comments what changed in your life. Now I need to speak about something that perhaps disturbs you, but which is essential. Sometimes the person with P who has envy of you is someone very close. It could be a relative. It could be someone who lives in the same house. And when it is so, strategic silence and physical distancing are not always possible. So what to do? In these cases, the protection needs to be internal. You need to build a fortress inside yourself, and this fortress is made of self-knowledge, of purpose, and of faith. When you know who you are, when you have clarity of your purpose, when your faith is solid, the envy of others loses power over you. It continues existing, but it no longer hits you. It is like an arrow that hits an armor and falls to the ground. Invest in knowing yourself. Read, meditate, pray. Seek therapy if possible. In Brazil, there exist options for free psychological care or at a social price in universities and community health centers. Caring for the mind is not weakness. It is the greatest demonstration of strength that exists. When you know yourself deeply, no one can manipulate you, because manipulation only works on those who do not know who they are. And here I want to provoke you to think of something. Could it be that part of the problem is not the envy of the other person, but the power that you gave to them over your life? Think on this. How many decisions have you already ceased to take because you were afraid of the opinion of this person? How many times have you already shrunk your brilliance so as not to disturb? How many times have you already ceased to celebrate a victory because you knew this person was going to diminish it? If this happened, the problem is not only their envy, the problem is that you accepted the role of being small so that they would feel comfortable. And this ends today, now, in this exact moment. You were not born to be small. You were not born to extinguish your light. You were not born to live in the shadow of anyone. God did not create you to be a supporting actor in your own story. You are the protagonist. And if your light disturbs someone, the problem belongs to the eyes of those who cannot endure the brilliance, not to your flame. From today, I want you to assume a commitment with yourself, a commitment to never again diminish who you are because of the insecurity of others, a commitment to protect your energy as one protects something precious, a commitment to walk with people who add, who vibrate high, who are happy with your achievements. And I want to remind you of something fundamental. Envy is finite. It only has power while you allow it. In the moment you awaken, in the moment you shield yourself, in the moment you strengthen yourself, envy becomes impotent. The person with P can continue feeling what they feel, but that ceases to be your problem, because you are no longer fertile ground for this poisonous seed. I know that this video was intense. I know that much made sense inside you, and if it did, that is confirmation. Confirmation that you were needing to hear exactly this, exactly now. It was not by chance that this video appeared to you. It was not an algorithm. It was direction. It was purpose. If you arrived here, do me a favor. Share this video with someone you feel is also going through this. Sometimes the person who most needs this message will not seek it alone, but if you send it, it can be the turning point in their life. And subscribe to the channel because every week I bring content that will help you strengthen your mind, your spirit, and your walk. Comment here below, I free myself. These 3 words are a declaration to the universe, a declaration that you no longer accept living under the weight of the envy of others. And when many people declare the same thing at the same time, the collective energy multiplies. So comment now. And before I finalize, I want to leave you with a reflection that I have carried with me for many years. In all the history of humanity, the people who most suffered from envy were precisely those who had the most to offer to the world. Think of the great leaders, of the great prophets, of the great transformers. All of them were envied, all of them were attacked by close people, and none of them gave up, because they knew that the mission was greater than the pain. You also have a mission. Perhaps you do not yet have total clarity of what it is, but the fact that you disturb someone with your simple existence is already proof that you carry something great. Common people do not generate envy. Common people pass unnoticed. If someone is spending energy thinking about you, speaking about you, trying to pull you down, it is because you represent a threat to the mediocre, and that is a disguised compliment. In Brazil, we have a popular saying that states, "A dog that barks does not bite." But I go further. A dog that barks is afraid, and envy is fear. Fear that you will go further, fear that you will conquer more, fear that you will prove that it is possible to be different. Do not have pity for those who envy you, but also do not have anger, have consciousness, and use that consciousness in your favor. Remember, the name that begins with P has already been revealed to your heart. You already know who it is. Now the question is no longer about this person. The question is about you. What are you going to do with this information? Will you continue living the same way, or will you take an attitude? The choice is yours. But the fact that you have watched until here already shows that you chose change, and that by itself is already the beginning of a powerful transformation. May God bless your walk. May your light never be extinguished, and may from today no envy have power over your life. I wait for you in the next video. It will be even stronger. Take care of yourself, protect your energy, and never ever diminish your brilliance. Until next time,